to Zoom. And then share screen. And then whatever you want to share first. Yeah. Okay.
Why are you talking back?
Where is it? Is this it?
What are you trying to do? Put out there.
No, this. I need this to go away.
Sounds like they don't have copies of the agenda.
I can see Luther back there.
I think they're on the table.
Luther doesn't have one.
Okay, I'm gonna make one. I did, they were on the table. I guess they
There's
got
the
thrown
ones at
away.
each of your seats.
They must have got thrown away. Okay. 6.
Because you know each person's playing.
Don't try to run me out.
Do what?
Doug's trying to run me out the door.
Does stuff like that.
Yeah, kind of rude.
That man, his age will eventually learn.
I think he want me here close to him with his health like the SKZD, but oh, we wouldn't talk about it.
Madison County Financial Management Committee meeting will now come to order. Today's date is Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. The time is 8:35 a.m. in Madison County Complex Building. And the conference room 98 on Hollywood Drive. Call the roll, Sarah.
Sure will. Arthur Johnson. Mayor Harris.
Here.
Gary Deaton.
Here.
Luther Mercer.
Here.
Marlon King.
Here.
Joey Hale.
Here.
Bart Walls.
Here.
All here, one absent.
Okay, I need a motion to make a determination on the reading electronically is necessary to protect public health, safety, and welfare. Got a motion? Second. All right. Call the roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson. Mayor Harris.
Yes.
Gary Deaton.
Here.
Luther Mercer.
Yes.
Marlon King.
Yes.
Joey Hale.
Yes.
Bart Walls.
Yes.
Okay, minutes. Anybody read the minutes? Okay. Motion and second to approve. Call the roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson. Mayor Harris.
Yes.
Gary Deaton.
Yes.
Luther Mercer.
Yes.
Marlon King.
Yes.
Joey Hale.
Yes.
Bart Walls.
Yes. Okay, first item on the agenda is, new business, Chief Turner.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What I was bringing before you all is, we have a few paid firefighters. Currently, we have 5, and they work an A, B, C shift. We have 2 on A shift, 2 on B shift, but 1 on C shift. And I was wanting to add another one for the C shift, so there's 2 there, so there's not 1 alone. And from a safety standpoint of responding out on calls, medical calls, stuff during the night and stuff until we get some volunteers there. So there's 2 people there. Just from a safety standpoint, I'd like to go in and add that position. We're working on a plan to add some folks in next budget year, but this one from a safety concern and as busy they are with COVID and everything, as many runs as they're making, I'd just like to go ahead and add that position so that one's not there by itself. That's why I was bringing that before you. It would be new money because I don't have enough in my budget to cover the rest of the year. it would be $23,598.62. That does not include, in benefits, but, that would finish out this budget year if I can do that.
A motion is second. Is there an amendment here this morning for this?
No, sir.
Okay, so it'd be an amendment out of fund balance to carry. All right. Any other discussion?
I have a question.
Yes, go right ahead.
As far as other shifts, is this the only shift where there's only one firefighter?
Yes, sir. Currently, that's correct.
Okay. How long has he been or she been solo?
About a year and a half.
Okay. Did we not have just for, I guess, for the safety? I mean, obviously I want them to be safe, and obviously fight fires by yourself sounds like a terrible idea. So I'm just trying to understand why we didn't move forward on this during the budget prep, and
But
I mean, because of its safety, then I mean, I'm all for it. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just trying to understand.
I'll let Commissioner Stevenson answer that. We had a plan and COVID kind of throwed us a curve. I'll let him.
That's right, Commissioner Hale. What we did, we've been in ongoing discussions with Chief Turner. And what ended up happening was we got thrown a loop with this COVID and everything and just things. But this is just, it's been something we've been in discussion about for probably about a year. Probably.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Call roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Gary Deaton,
Yes.
Luther Mercer,
Yes.
Marlon King, Joey Hill,
Yes.
Bart Walls.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next on the agenda, old business, and we're on contract.
Yes, Attorney Maroney is going to discuss this. As you remember, the payment by the school system this year is going to be $420,000. So he's worked out the payment for future years, and we've got a copy of that pulled up as he discusses.
Yes, I negotiated with Attorney Dale Thomas, who's the attorney for the school system, and he in turn has, input from Dr. King. And so this is an agreement just memorialize what I think everybody's already been agreeable to, but we just wanted to have it memorialized. And it sets forth the schedule. If you can scroll down just a little bit. So for the current fiscal year that we're in, the payment will be $420,000. The remaining years are set forth $1,012,500, $1,063,500, $1,112,500, and another $1,112,500. And what that will do, that will pay off the AMRESCO balance in full. The year that we're in, that they're paying $420 on, originally was scheduled to be $870, so they're paying $450 less for this year. So we took that $450 that they are not paying for this year, divided it by 4, which is $112,500 a year, and added that $112,500 to the remaining 4 years to get these totals that you're seeing up there. And then if the school system makes a determination to pay additional funds based on how years proceed, of course, they will get credit for that. So, as the example says, if we look further down in the document, for example, if this year when they're due to pay $420, they made a determination to pay $720, $300,000 extra, then they could determine at their discretion which of the years that are remaining that 300 comes off of. So to give them some flexibility. So, but anyway, this would, at the completion of this schedule line out there, that would finish off the NRSO. So we might have some questions, but this is generally what I think you've all been planning on anyway, but it just memorializes if there wasn't previously anything other than a verbal agreement to that.
Motion, second. Motion second. Any other questions, comments? Call roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Gary Deaton,
Yes.
Luther Mercer,
Yes.
Marlon King, Joey Hale,
Yes.
Art Walls.
Yes. Okay, motion passes. Next on the agenda is quarterly update.
Mayor, one more thing. We discussed in the last county commission meeting about seeking a building for the county commission on a regular basis. It calls back to $3,000, I believe. We don't have anybody leading that charge. I like to make a motion that you take that up.
All right.
Second.
Need a motion for that?
I just made a motion.
Oh, you want a second? Okay.
Any other discussion? I'll roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Gary Deaton,
Yes.
Luther Mercer,
Yes.
Marlon King,
Yes.
Joey Hale,
Yes.
Art Walls.
Yes. Motion passes. And we tried to get together yesterday, but got called in the TLM to at least come down and start looking at this. We did look at the, Ms. Mercer, we did look at the facts, title. That building will become the city once, and once it's consistent with that. So we look back at the history of that, that will start back to the city. But we are looking around and kind of seeing what's available, what's possible.
I think what we voted on was, this is a place that's like feasible, but there was a discussion about looking beyond just this location here. Right. If anybody's got any ideas for what location it would be, that would be quite forward, but I've searched my brain, I don't know where it is.
Not to think of location. Not school, not somewhere.
That was good.
Area.
Well, I talked to Rudder about, if we'll, once the expansion is done, their possibility of renovating the spot for this, that's the computer away, but he said that at least what they got now, he doesn't have to.
I don't know what you know about that building, it's really heavy cost.
Well, the things that you saw it from, they'll meet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just one more input on that. I mean, this, I think we discussed this location here, not because we thought it would be fun forever, but it'd be a start. It's probably the least expensive place we can go. If it works.
The sheriff has his hand raised. I think he's wanting to say something.
The sheriff.
I didn't hear you say it again, Joey.
Yeah, this is Matt Preston. I think the sheriff has his hand raised and he's wanting to speak.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Sheriff.
Hold on. I'm working on it. Yep. Get it to let me. Okay, he should be able to talk now.
Go ahead, Sheriff.
I actually didn't have anything. We've just been trying to get on to the Zoom meeting and back and forth with Sarah and Matt. So
Oh, okay.
that's what they were trying to do, is work that out.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, one update, equestrian center. Ed?
Yeah, we rebid for the second time. This last time we got 5 bids in. The winning bid was from Reed's Metals here in Jackson, $180,000. And that is just for the materials. We had to split it up with the construction and the materials because we don't have all $500,000 now in capital budget because it was split in 2 years. One of the things that I'm concerned about is from the time we bid first time around, Reed's Metals put in a bid, but they did it online instead of the way it needed to be done. So we couldn't count that bid. It went from 163,000 to 180,000 in about 6 weeks. And metal and lumber are just going up and up and up. And every time we delay this, it's just going to be more costly. And so I'm hoping that the capital, when the capital committee meets, that they can put some of that money back in, because, you know, if we end up waiting until, you know, on the playgrounds, it's the metal for that's going to be going up. So, you know, it's order has been done for the arena as far as the building itself goes. Again, we haven't bid out for the construction of it yet. That's where things stand. So we were trying to get it in at least before the first of the year, because everybody was saying it's going to go up again then. So we're just trying to minimize our losses on that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Ed. Fund balance review. Karen?
We've got the fund balances here that I want to make sure and show you where we are with the amendments today. If approved, this will bring our fund balance down to about $9.8 million. And then our capital fund balance is at 1.6. And the capital committee is going to be meeting within the next week to look at some requests that come in for this year to see if they may go ahead and fund some of those between now and the end of FY21. So any questions on the fund balances? I mean, we're staying steady, and that's a good thing. While I'm on that, let me go ahead and share. You should have got my finance director's report. We're a little bit under our expenditures as we closed out October. We're at 31.71% of expenditures, which is a good thing. I gave you the sales tax information. Since that time, the sales tax has come in for the month of November, which is actually 2 months back. And we're actually up total for the month of November was 12.7, but for the whole year, 6.85%. You'll remember I told you last month we were up about 5%. Again, really have no explanation for it, and we're very thankful for it as far as that goes. Most of our revenues that we projected, you know, to be under when we prepared the budget have all been above what we anticipated, which is a good thing there. To give you an update on the legal fees for the sheriff's lawsuit, we think we've pretty much paid everything, and the total cost for the Madison County taxpayers was $613,342.68 in legal fees. Additionally, the 7% raise that was given to the sheriff's employees was $533,575.19. Be happy to entertain any questions.
That's what that 533 doesn't count.
Yes, doesn't it? I believe it's everything.
The amendment.
Huh?
The amendment. You have the amendment.
Oh, the amendment. Yeah, it's broken. Yes.
It does include them.
Let me pull the amendment right here and tell you. It's done when you just did it. Please. You have a part-time on that one? 517, so it's less than what I just said. Well, it's got the amendments and everything. But... So.
Then that probably has benefits in it.
This one does. Yeah, the 533 does include the benefits. 533, 575, 19. That's part-time and full-time. And then we also did retro payments on the step payments, which was a total of $82,444.58. So, any questions on that? Again, we're very thankful for the sales tax increases, but just don't really have any. In talking to cities and counties across the state, several have been on the uptick, particularly counties. And based on what the economists told us back in March and April, the theory was kind of blown out of the water, so there's really no explanation. And while I'm talking, hotel motel tax is above where we budgeted for, if you can believe that. We've been getting reports from Lori Nunnery. We budgeted $300,000 through October. We're already at $158,000 here in Madison County. So one other thing that I want to say on behalf of the Madison County employees is the appreciation for the raises that would be given on the December 11th check. I think our employees are very appreciative of that. So I want to share that with our legislative body on behalf of the employees of Madison County. That's all I have.
Well, two things. First one I already forgot. Second one is, we've been talking around in the office, you know, we always have an employee budget for Christmas. And we decided we don't need to do that this year. And hopefully,
It was just virtual, we just do it one at a time, we all get on television and
I mean, hopefully, if things loosen up, March, April, May, we can have an employee picnic place. Dinner that we only have at Christmas. So I just don't know why. Mark, this has nothing to do with finance, but can you give us an update on Christmasville Road?
Absolutely. They started on the construction of Christmasville Road on November the 16th. They have, I was out there one day last week, and they have the old pipe out. It's mostly excavated, and they were setting grade on the new pipes when I was there. They did not have the new pipes delivered yet, but they were supposed to be delivered this week. And they weren't actually ready for the pipes yet, so it's the construction and the delivery of the pipes are kind of coinciding. So everything is moving along, and just keep our fingers crossed that the weather continues to hold out. It'll be tough for them to do a whole lot this week, given how cold it is, but they are continuing. So. Their contract runs through the end of January. January 30th, I think, is the contract date. I think they're hopeful that they can get it done before then. Again, you know, weather is the wild card.
All right, anybody else have anything before we get into budget amendments?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Was that to Bart or me? I'm sorry.
You.
Okay. I was curious if there was any employees that have indicated that they plan to take the early retirement incentive, and how many, if any.
There have been, Karen, you know the number.
There have been, I have not confirmed with HR lately, but I think it's 10 or less at this time. I know we have one employee in our department, Bill Vinson, our purchasing director, has been here 37 and a half years, and Bill will be leaving. I know Miss Brenda Sidoris at the courthouse will be leaving, and next Friday will be their last day. And I believe there's been a few along the way in different departments that have already expressed an interest to leave. So I would say, without confirming with Tony White, it's about 10 or less at this time. But
Okay.
And as far as
remind me the cutoff date for that.
December the 11th, which is next Friday.
Okay.
So, and on behalf of the finance department, we're doing interviews for purchasing director tomorrow, actually, to fill that position.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything?
The only thing I was going to say, with this road related, was that this coming weekend, Campbell Street / Old Medina over I-40 is planned to be closed to begin demolition of a portion of that bridge. It will be opened back up on Monday morning, the 7th at 6 a.m., possibly sooner. But just let people know that that will be a.
Just the bridge is closed or the interstate?
Well, the interstate and the bridge will be closed, and so they'll be routing traffic off of I-40 up over Campbell Street and then back onto I-40. Kind of like they've been doing in North Island. But anyway, this is part of the next phase of the interstate construction, the widening of I-40 from exit 82 to exit 87. And that's Jones Construction. That's not my project, but I've been attending some TDOT meetings, and kind of trying to keep my finger on the pulse of that as well. This weekend, Friday, the 4th.
Okay, we'll start on budget amendments. Fund 141, general purpose, $5,150. Funds being transferred to purchase software, which will aid in uniform and consistent placement of pre-K students in the district. Your motion.
So moved. Second.
Second. Call roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris.
Yes.
Gary Deaton. Luther Mercer. Marlon King. Joey Hill.
Yes.
Bart Walls.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next is $76,850. This amendment adds federal revenue received to be used for unemployment compensation. Your motion. Motion. Your second. Your second. Call roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris. Gary Deaton. Luther Mercer. Marlon King. Joey Hill. Joey Hill.
Yes. Sorry, I was muted.
Bart Walls.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Go down to Sheriff's Department. $7,950 capital fund, insurance recovery from total loss of 2015 Ford car.
Motion approved.
Motion second. Any discussion? Call roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris.
Yes.
Gary Deaton.
Yes.
Luther Mercer.
Yes.
Marlon King. Joey Hill.
Yes.
Bart Walls.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next is Sheriff's Department again, $5,295.16. Report towing reimbursement, inmate medical reimbursement, juvenile meals reimbursement, drug task force overtime reimbursement, and SRO ball game overtime. Your motion.
This money going in and coming in and going out.
Coming in.
All in money.
Well, it was,
Money. You make that motion. Your motion. Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Call roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris.
Yes.
Gary Deaton.
Yes.
Luther Mercer. Marlon King. Joey Hill.
Yes.
Bart Walls.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next one is Madison County ELA, $1,000 general fund, utility account refund, and I assume this is money as well. Your
Correct.
motion. A motion, second. Motion second, any discussion? All roll, Sarah, please.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris.
Yes.
Gary Deaton.
Yes.
Luther Mercer.
Yes.
Marlon King. Joey Hill.
Yes.
Bart Walls.
Yes.
Motion passes. Number 6, maintenance, $17,700 capital fund. Amount needed to complete bid for Lee Courthouse, approved $130,000, but what we did is $147,700. Your motion.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Motion second. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
As far as were we gonna rebid a portion of this or all of it when we found out about the drains? But then there was can I get an update on the general, where we're at on that?
Yeah, I hired Jim Ferguson to come in and run cameras down all the drains, they're in good shape. So we don't need drains, so it's back to just a roof.
So it's back to the same, it's digging the same thing we put out to start over.
And talking with Bill Benson and Karen, Bill brought up the fact that we possibly could be opening this up for a lawsuit if we redid it, because it's the same wording, the same everything.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing.
Joey couldn't hear. You understand that, Joey?
I really couldn't. I'm sorry.
They didn't rebid it. Bill cautioned that if we rebid it, we would be rebidding the same thing we did originally. And it could potentially open us up legal action because we're bidding the same thing again.
That's not true. That's correct. It would be true because we would not be bidding the same thing. We'd be bidding with trade, although we may not be.
Well, in addition, on all your bids, you always reserve the right at the last minute to not, to withdraw your proposal. There's nothing that prohibits you from resubmitting it subsequent to that. But that being said,
I agree, in this case, rebidding it will not prove.
Joey?
That's true. I think just going forward, I would hope that we could either establish a better policy. I'm not trying to micromanage you, Mark. I'm definitely not wanting you to feel that way. It's definitely not a personal attack or questions specific about this roof per se. It's more about the big picture of, are we pursuing excellence in how we bid jobs this large? And I'm not sure it's fair for the director of each department to have to personally handle these bids. I don't know how other city governments and county governments take this on, but I'd be very interested to hear what other people do and see how we can incorporate something better. But that's, I mean, I support, obviously we need a new roof. I don't want to slow that down. But for future, I'm learning more about our process, and I would hope that we can continue to better our process as we go forward.
I totally agree with what Commissioner Hale said. Just as an example on this, and Mark, you correct me if I'm wrong, we've got a process problem. And to me, the process problem is we asked a certain company to give us a estimate on the roofing. Well, what I'm saying is the materials that they're using could be totally different than an estimate on we get a roof for someone else. It seems to me that our process is very, very poor, and we're not trying to micromanage, but I think that's something that as we get a new purchasing director, they need to report to this committee and say, we've improved this process. What it does is it puts him on the hook there, in my opinion, because we've looked at roofs all over, even with the schools, before Dr. King got here, and we had some really interesting problems, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So, but we're not doing anything in what I'm trying to say, a specific manner, I guess.
How does the city handle, what is their process handling things like this?
Well, I mean, they have a purchasing director, and the department will provide specifications of what they want. And they actively solicit vendors to bid on that process as far as that goes. And as you and I discussed, with the coming on of a new purchasing director, we are going to be making a lot of changes on behalf of the county that need to be changed and improved. But when I got here, I knew Bill was only going to be here for a year or two. He had told me that from the get-go. So we kind of just wrote out the status quo and not added a lot of additional changes to him at this time. But there will be a new day in purchasing, I assure you.
Can I add one thing to that? Without, I've been on that a lot of times. They do the same thing we do in one respect. They're looking for a cost factor. And when they ask me to spec something, that spec goes out to all bidders. But in the meantime, when I spec it, I also do it when I bid it at that time. That is my bid. And that's what it's not just an estimate, it's what I would do it for. What we're doing is we're getting the cost factor, and then we bid it, it may not be the same.
That's right. Yeah, I would, may I add something? I can't see the room, so I'm having a hard time. As far as the way we go about it, it's essentially just communication. And so I'm not necessarily wanting to spend unnecessary money, but I mean, an A&E report would give us what specifically we wanted bid instead of just saying, in this case, a new roof. We would say, well, we want it to be, ripped off and replaced, or replaced with a certain thickness or a certain type of material. And we would have all that information inside purchasing before it even get, and then of course we would incorporate the director. I'm assuming we would incorporate the director in that and all the different, and all the different ways of communicating before we even put it out for bid, instead of having a bid come in, 3 bids come in, 2 that are close to each other, 1 that's wildly cheaper. And so there's obviously something that's different about those bids that we're not aware of. Mark, you might be aware of what they were, but, or maybe not, I don't know. And of course I want to go with a more affordable option, but sometimes you get what you pay for. We might be here again in 5 years, who knows?
I put the bid in, you can't specify a certain brand, you've got to put your specs. I put it in, but I did say equal to this product or better. So that's what you go by. It also says you got to be responsible for taking the old roof off, hauling all that away. The specs are there. Excuse me, the specs are there. You send it out.
Okay.
And you send it out to 18 people, 3 of bid, 3 out of 18. And everybody I've talked to that when they do bid, they don't do a lot of government business because they don't make a lot of money off of it. All I can do is Bill sends it out. We understand, I understand. But I mean, and the thing.
Mark, we're not questioning your product.
Understand.
You're taking it the wrong way. You're taking it the wrong way. We're not questioning.
I'm really not, I'm just trying to explain that.
We understand what you're saying. We understand the process.
It out to get a price, and I couldn't do it. They said, no, that's against law, you can't do it that way. So I had guesstimated what it was gonna be, the 130. I'm just saying.
I guess what I'm trying to communicate is we want to take a lot of this off of your plate. And that's what I would hope, is that you didn't have this burden and you can focus on the maintenance of the buildings and not large projects, that we could just make it more streamlined for you and make it better. That's my hope, is to make it better. I really am not trying to dive in and say that you've done something wrong. It's not my intent, and definitely not my heart behind my questions. I'm trying to understand, and I feel like as a policy minded, in the hat I'm wearing right now, I'm supposed to be policy minded, and I just want to make sure we have a good policy on it. That's it.
Just like it is, when they redid theirs, it's high. Well, you know, he said it came in, what was it? 17,000 more. Yeah, so it's going to take a chance again. This company's done roofs for the county and done a good job. They haven't really looked at bid this time around.
Okay. Do we have a motion on the floor?
We do.
Okay. All rolls there.
Arthur Johnson. Mayor Harris.
Yes.
Gary Deaton.
Yes.
Luther Mercer.
Yes.
Marlon King. Joey Hill.
Yes.
Bart Walls.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right. Number 7, $2,911.96 fuel port services. Termination payout for fuel port services in November, $1,794.67 from fund balance. Your motion. Motion to your second. Any discussion? All rolls there.
Arthur Johnson. Mayor Harris.
Yes.
Gary Deaton. Luther Mercer. Marlon King. Joey Hill.
Yes.
Bart Walls.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Number 8, Sheriff Department, $14,550 from the capital fund, money needed in addition to insurance recovery. Purchase 2018 Ford Explorer to replace the total 2015 Ford Taurus. Total cost is $22,500. Insurance recovery was $7,950. Does this come from fund balance?
Yes, that's what I want to make sure you understand. They had one last month that was insurance recovery that we pulled from capital funds. So this will be the second vehicle that's being purchased from the capital to subsidize insurance recovery. So I just want to make sure you're aware of that it is coming from the capital fund balance.
So your motion. A motion. Is there a second? Have a second. Any discussion?
So how much of the 14.5 is coming from county?
That is correct.
Subsidize the insurance recovery?
Yes. Did we get a second? Okay. Any other discussion? Call roll,
Do we,
sir.
with,
What?
Nobody's got a question.
Joey's got a question.
with capital meeting, are they meeting this week? Do we know?
It has not been
Is this-
set yet.
It hasn't been said. Okay, never mind. If it hasn't been said, I won't ask my question.
So we're asking next time, what is the capital fund? Look like capital.
It can go either way.
No, it normally goes to capital, then it comes to
I
fund.
understand that, but were you gonna say something to me?
No, I.
Well, I guess my question, I guess I'll ask it after all. With projections being better than we expected, do we want to ask capital to look at some of these things and have folks request some of the things that were skipped? I know Commissioner Compton had said that there was a mounding need. He used the number 15 million, which seems like a lot of money. So do we want to ask them to kind of reconnect and see what kind of need there is out there and take items like this under consideration?
Mr. Chairman, what they did, they met approximately, Sarah, 2 weeks ago, I guess. And what they decided to do, in answer to your question, Commissioner Hale, they're going to take a portion of that 1.6 million and prioritize the projects that we have on board right now. Go ahead and do, because they do not want to fall under the cracks or push them down the road. So if I'm saying that correctly, I think they were looking at using about 1.3 million.
And that prioritization was sent to the chairman, Jason Compton, on Wednesday afternoon, and I believe he's going to be setting a meeting. The departments did submit, and the sheriff's department has in their prioritization asked for, I believe it was about $300,000-400,000 worth of vehicles. I just wanted you guys to know that this is the second amendment to capital where they have asked to supplement insurance recovery money for vehicles. So it will be a draw on capital fund balance.
Is that typical, Karen? I mean, don't these normally come from just regular fund, the general fund balance during the year because capital has already been appropriated? And
well, the vehicle meets the capitalization threshold that's required of 15,000 and above. So it's supposed to come from capital fund. And so that's where this money is coming from to subsidize.
Okay.
They've had some wrecked vehicles that they've not gotten enough in on the insurance to replace them. So.
Okay.
Other discussion? Call roll, sir.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris, Gary Deaton,
Yes.
Luther Mercer,
Yes.
Marlon King, Joey Hill,
Yes.
Bart Ross.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Number 9, Sheriff Department, $8,721, general fund, replace prior year purchase order that was covered, except for the wrong vendor. Does this come with fund balance?
Yes, it does.
Can we make, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir, go right ahead.
If I may, just want to be sure you understand, this is a PO that was encumbered last year. And so at the end of last fiscal year, the money was put back into the general fund. We found out we had encumbered the wrong vendor. So it's simply a matter of replacing one vendor from last year with the correct vendor for this year.
The money was there last year's budget, but went incorrectly to the wrong vendor rate, so it went back into fund balance.
Yes. Yes. I think, if I remember right too, I think that this company actually changed their name after, shortly or sometime after their bid and everything. And so we had already encumbered it. And, we
thought at that time we were still okay because that was the same company, but we can't write the check for the old company because it's a new company now. So, but it's the same people.
Like a lot of times,
Yeah, they can just $100.
we'll make it $1.
Coming out of fund balance.
It's essentially a wash.
Years, they encumbered it prior to our work. Back in the fund balance. Transfer it, I mean, it just went back in the fund balance. All right, do we have a motion?
We have a motion, but no second.
Okay.
Second.
A motion and a second. No discussion. All roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Gary Deaton,
Yes.
Luther Mercer,
Yes.
Marlon King, Joey Hale,
Yes.
Art Walls.
Yes.
That motion passes. Number 10, finance / sheriff department, 26,542. I'm sorry, 26,942.90. General fund termination payout for sheriff department employees in November, 22,141.36 comes from fund balance.
Motion to approve.
Motion, your second.
Second.
Got a second. Any discussion? All roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Gary Deaton, Luther Mercer,
Yes.
Marlon King, Joey Hale,
Yes.
Art Walls.
Yes.
Okay, number 11, solid waste, $20,750.09. Termination payout and retirement incentive for solid waste employee in November. This all comes from fund balance. Well, let me back up. 9 cents on the question.
Yeah, that's probably a typo on our part. I apologize. But the next two that you're approving are employees that are taking the retirement incentive. So part of the proposal that we presented was it would come from fund balance because it would decrease salaries in these departments as far as that goes. So just wanted you to understand the next two, why the full balance is coming from fund balance. Those are the ones taking advantage of the incentive.
Your motion.
So moved.
Motion second. Other discussion. All roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Gary Deaton, Luther Mercer, Marlon King,
Yes.
ooh, Joey Hale,
Yes.
Bart Walls.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Number 12, soil conservation, termination pay,
Move to approve.
termination payout and retirement incentive for soil conservation employee in November. Motion and second, any discussion?
Trying to make that first.
Call roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Gary Deaton,
Yes.
Luther Mercer,
Yes.
Marlon King, Joey Hale,
Yes.
Bart Walls.
Yes.
All right, that's all ones on the list. We do have a couple others. One is from the county attorney, comes from fund balance for the contract services for county attorney. The amendment request is $20,950. I assume, Steve, that's kind of accumulated.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Have a motion? Your second?
Second.
Any discussion? All
I
in-
got one to say. We plan way too much money.
Not near as much as the school system.
I'm working on that.
Steve, that was not.
Call roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Gary Deaton,
Yeah.
Luther Mercer, Marlon King, Joey Hale,
Yes.
Art Walls.
And in Dr. King's defense, not near as much as the sheriff's department.
Okay, motion passes. All right, the last one, is this for the 7% pay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this comes from fund balance,
Yes, sir.
500, the sheriff's department comes from, read out, $517,173.34.
Oh, it's 5:30.
Did that include the part-time on the 533?
I think it included the retro.
Okay, it included the retro on the step raises on the other one. That's the reason this one is less. And it does include the benefits, Gary.
Motion, second, any discussion? Call roll, Sarah.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris.
Yes.
Gary Deaton.
Yes.
Luther Mercer.
Yes.
Marlon King. Joey Hale.
Yes.
Bart Walsh.
Yes.
Okay, that's all the amendments. Karen, do you have anything?
Yes,
else?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me just give kind of an update on where we're on school budgeting. We started the internal process. We'll start the official process in January. Earlier this year, we were cut like in our BEP by 500,000. I told from this meeting I shared with the department heads that we would need to look within our departments before we pull money out of fund balance. And so I just want to share with the committee that we found $72,000 in our workman comp, SSMS, we found about 18,000 connectivity, 29,000, which brought us like 121 against that 558. And we haven't even gotten to maintenance and transportation. So I would applaud the team for working with me to look in and figure out how we can save. Also, in terms of positions, I'm operating one secretary. I think this is probably the first time, Karen, since
And forever that I can remember.
so we reduced that, and we had a technology director position that we post our technology director resigned. We hired a technology director, $20,000 cheaper. We have two technology positions that became available that we didn't fill because we had enough people on the inside to take on those roles. I just want to share that with the community that we're looking for all ways that we can watch our expenditures and figure out how do we put money back in the classroom for teachers and for students. So I just wanted to share that.
And on behalf of Dr. King, I'd like to say he and I have been meeting for about 5 weeks now. And I do applaud, he is reviewing every portion of his budget for efficiencies. And we're talking about and brainstorming some things. So again, I told him, I said, now I served on the school board from 2000 to 2008. There's always been 2 secretaries. So I told him, I said, that's something to toot his horn about because he eliminated a position in benefits and he's done several other cuts in areas. So.
Yeah, absolutely. He's also got good taste in pies. Anything else?
Got one thing, this wasn't mentioned, I'd like to mention, Joey Hale is not here because he's serving 2 weeks, he served in the Air Force, he served in the country, and he's serving the county. Where are you going?
I don't want to, if I tell you, you'll just be, it won't sound as cool. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. So if you're going to go serve your country, you might as well go to the beach, right? I feel like that's very American.
Anybody else have
Thanks
anything?
for,
Thank you for your service, Joey.
oh, you were very welcome, Mayor.
Mr.
Mayor.
Motion second. Call roll, sir.
I think the sheriff's trying to say something.
I think the sheriff is trying to say something.
We just wanted to check, if we're having a hard time with hearing the audio, we had, I think you've already voted on it, we just wanted to clarify something at the beginning.
We had a budget amendment for $7,950 for insurance recovery. I think it was maybe one of the first amendments that was approved. I missed it trying to hear. Was that one approved?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Call roll, sir.
Arthur Johnson, Mayor Harris.
Yes.
Gary Deaton.
Yeah.
Luther Mercer.
Yes.
Marlon King. Joey Hale.
Yes.
Bart Walsh.
Yes.
We are adjourned.